back to Forest Asks Questions. I'm Tom Coates, I'm a chartered forester, and today I'm visiting a really crucial part of the supply chain, and that's a tree nursery. I'm with Charles Beaumont of Trees Please. We're visiting his nursery, which is really crucial to this area and the whole of the UK really. He's growing nearly 14 million trees every year to supply the forest industry. I think that it'll be a really interesting episode. Stay tuned, please click like and subscribe if you do like it, and leave any questions in the comments. Thanks. So I'm here today at Trees Please with Charles Beaumont, and it's a really impressive tree nursery, really critical supply of trees into the productive forestry industry, and I thought it's a great opportunity just to speak to Charles about some of the challenges that he sees in the sector just at this moment in time. So maybe just to start off with, Charles, could you maybe give an overview of Trees Please and your career in tree nurseries?
Well, my career in tree nurseries started quite late in life, actually. I've only been doing it for 26 years.
Okay.
Well, that leaves quite a large gap back to where I started work. And so I got lucky. I got lads here who've been in the business for 37 years.
Yeah. Okay.
4 of them, and they've never changed. And they're exactly the same people who are really well trained by the previous owners of this.
Okay.
And we still have them, which is a blessing from my point of view.
Yeah.
So I came into the business around 2000, and it was very much smaller than this at the time. We were growing about 1.5 million plants a year, and only about 250,000 conifers, and the rest of it mostly was hedging. That was where we started from, and then we tried for about 10 years of butting our heads against things and going absolutely nowhere at all, trying to grow it into something else. But then after that, we thought we discovered that Scotland was going to suddenly explode with conifer demand, and for once we were right. And we started following that demand up, and so then we got up to 10 times that within only about 8 years. We were up to about 15 million. We topped out at about 17 million. And then we thought we were all working a bit too hard, so we dropped it back a little bit to 14 million roughly.
Okay.
And we're very happy at that. It's everything seems to run quite smoothly.
Yeah. So you're roughly 2/3 conifer, 1/3 broadleaf.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess from your perspective as a tree nursery owner, what do you see as the big challenges for woodland creation and tree nurseries for the future?
Yeah, I mean the threat and the challenge and but also the opportunity all comes from the same place, which is government. There's a huge amount of government funding going into this, and when it flows smoothly, everyone in the industry does reasonably well, certainly in the establishment end of the industry. And then about every 8 years we get a bit of a hiatus when something goes wrong. Government decides to change the way it's funding it, or in this case at the moment there's a real regulatory problem going on, and lots of challenges from people outside the industry. And government has panicked and called in an awful lot of schemes that had already been passed, and is not letting through other ones that haven't been passed. And it's so from our point of view, and from the point of view of obviously of the planters and the fencers and the mounders and all those other people who work really hard at this end of the industry, things are really quite tight at the moment, and which is unfortunate because government has been very generous. You don't say that sentence very often in life. Government has really been very generous with capital grants for tree nurseries, And it's hugely encouraged us all to expand our production, and then suddenly dead stop, both of which are a sort of government issues.
Yeah.
So, we had to wait for government to become benevolent again, and then and then we could have a bit more fun.
And so what are you doing to adapt as a business to these sort of regulatory changes and sort of a difficult sort of policy environment?
Yeah, I mean, we had actually already started reducing our output anyway, actually, because the market was just feeling a bit hot, I felt, and so we took our foot off the pedal a bit. But at the moment, there's not a lot we can do. We've got 40 odd million plants in the ground for the next 3 years. Give us a crystal ball. I don't know what we're going to do with that. But in the meantime, because government has been generous with capital grants, all forestry nurseries have been investing very, very heavily in either things to speed up the throughput or to help us reduce some of the labour requirement, because labour is never easy to get in this sort of job. It's very hard work. You're out in cold, wet weather a lot of the time, and it doesn't suit everybody, unfortunately.
And what about tree species? Are you diversifying much, or are you finding that the sort of 2/3 conifer, 1/3 broadleaf is working well?
No, I think at the moment we need more broadleaves and fewer conifers. That's where the market is at the moment. But from the point of view of new species or different species, and we have tried all sorts of things over the years, and we've coast redwood was my first one that I tried. And I couldn't get a single person to take any. Not a single person took any. So in the end, for every 1,000 Sitka going out, we stuffed a bundle of 25 coast redwood in with them.
Right.
To see I've never heard anything about them since. I don't know what's happened. But that, unfortunately, is the story of trying to grow new species, because we need to really be led by our customers. But our customers expect us to have the plants when they suddenly decide they want them, rather than forgetting it takes 3 years to produce them.
And what about the future of productive forestry in the UK? How do you envisage that going, and what are your thoughts for the next 20, 30, 50 years?
Well, as an optimist, I would quite like to think that natural capital payments and carbon payments and things like that being leveraged in from other industries might help carry this industry a great deal further than it's gone already. I think government may well become reluctant, and it certainly doesn't want the hassle that's going on at the moment with all the objectives. And I think that might be one rather better way of funding the whole thing. But at the moment, none of those markets are properly established. And there's no international agreement on how these things should happen, or even a national agreement on how these things should happen, really. And so that's holding us back a bit, I think. But that, to me, would be the best way forward. Otherwise, governments, and no one ever seems to plant a tree unless someone gives them money to do it. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is.
And as an optimist then, maybe as a sign out, could you give us a sort of piece of advice that you would give to foresters coming into the industry?
Don't.
Surely not.
No, it wouldn't be that, actually, to be fair. I think there aren't many unhappy foresters around, and there aren't really too many unhappy tree nurserymen either, to be fair. And
Okay.
we all work pretty well together. We enjoy what we do, and if you're of that sort of nature, then go for it. Definitely go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for your time. I know it's a very busy time of the year for you.
Yeah, it's a great time of year. Yeah, yeah, right.
And thank you very much.
That's good, Tom. Thanks.
Thank you.
Right.